Okay, good morning all. Am I audible? Yes, okay. Thank you, Vijit. So just give me a minute. I will just start with the class within a minute, right? Okay, can you all see the slide share? Yeah, okay. So let us begin with the concept of choreography. So I hope you are clear with the concept of orchestration, right? Are you clear with what is orchestration and what are the terms with that? Yes, okay. So I'll ask you one question based on that. Can we apply orchestration across multiple service-oriented architectures, or it is applicable for only one architecture? Or you can say within the organization, we can apply the orchestration. What did you understand from that concept? The question is, can we apply orchestration beyond our own architecture, or it is for local level, local or global? Okay. Urjit is saying multiple. Priyank is saying within organization. Okay. Okay. Fine. See, we have seen that concept of orchestration, and where we have defined that there is a coordinator service, right? But that coordinator actually works within the architecture, right? And that is what is, you can say, the limitation of orchestration, right? So although the concept says that you should be able to apply it for multiple organizations or multiple solutions, but that is not true as far as the implementation of orchestration is concerned. So the scope of orchestration is within the organization, or you can say it is within the single service oriented architecture. Is that clear? Right? It applies to only single scope, okay, or within the architecture. Okay, is it fine to all? So what we should use, right, for you can say multiple organizations. You can read this last paragraph. Orchestration has been called as heart of SOA. So because it is establishing the means of centralizing and controlling the inter and intra application logic, right? So it, although you can have intra application logic capability, but it is never used beyond the organization boundary. It is always within the organization boundary. So why so? Because we already have another approach that is called choreography. Now try to relate the concept of orchestration with concept of choreography over here. Fine. Can you see that over here we are having two organizations and they are, you can say, following common rules, common collaboration rules? Yes. Is this diagram clear to you? There is one application from organization A and there is another application for organization B. Both of them want to collaborate, right? And there is a choreography service. Like in earlier case, you had a orchestration service. Over here, we have a choreography service, which is providing us the common collaboration rules, right? So if multiple organization-based services wants to communicate in a standard manner, right? We use choreography for that, right? Is this diagram clear to all? At least the diagram. We'll see the concepts, right, later. Okay. So as we have seen the terminologies of orchestration, right? We have seen what do we mean by process service. We have seen what do we mean by partner services, right? Similarly, choreography also has some terms, right? So that we'll be touching upon and we'll see the concepts, right? And then we'll go for the addressing. That is the next topic. Okay. So let us go through the concepts. When different organizations interoperate via services, we require common collaboration, right? Because ultimately, every organization has to agree to something which has to be there in common, right? And that is why we don't use orchestration over here. Orchestration is used within the organization if you want to have collaboration, fine? So in orchestration, if you remember, which was the standard we used? WS, what was the next term after? Yes, BPEL, correct. Business Process Execution Language, right? Over here, we are having CDL, that is known as Choreography Description Language, right? Again, an XML-based standard, right? It is going to allow you information exchange between multiple organizations with public collaboration. This is important, right? This is public collaboration. So multiple companies and multiple services can get together and they can talk in a standard way, right? So that is standardized using WSCDL. Okay. So just be clear with these two concepts. WSBPEL standardizes orchestration concept, while WSCDL standardizes choreography concept. Is that difference clear? Right? For every concept, there is a standard, right? Which we are having. Okay. So an important characteristic of choreography is that they are intended for public message exchange. So as I said, when multiple organizations want to talk, right, we need to design or define standard rules of communication, right? And they are defined by our choreography service, right? The difference over here is, in case of orchestration, you can say that if company A, right, if company A has implemented WSBPEL, right? If that is the case, WSBPEL, then we can say that company A is the owner of that orchestration, right? Company A is the owner of the orchestration. But in case of choreography, multiple organizations get together and they define the rules in common, right? So there is no a single owner available in this case, right? There is no owner of choreography because it is public collaboration. That is another difference between orchestration and choreography. I'll again repeat. Orchestration is generally owned by the organization, while choreography does not have a single owner, right? It is having partnership of multiple organizations. Is that clear? First point of difference is what? Which is the standard? So as I already said, WSBPEL is a standard for orchestration. WSCDL is a standard for choreography. Second difference, in choreography, the organization that implements orchestration is the owner, while over here, there is not a single owner. Fine. So choreography define the potential for establishing universal interoperability patterns. So how you will communicate, right, with multiple services across multiple architectures. Those rules are defined in a single service, and that's what we call as choreography service, right? Okay. Now we'll see the terms. Like we have seen the terms like process service, partner services in orchestration. Similarly, there are total 6 to 7 terms in choreography. So the first term is role, right? So within any choreography, a web service can assume one of the number of predefined roles, right? So how many roles we have studied as far as service roles are concerned? Can you just give me that number? How many roles we have studied? If you count from requester, provider, intermediary, initial sender, and ultimate receiver, right? So, or you can say ultimate provider, right? So yes, there are 5 roles, correct. But if you expand the intermediaries also, then we can say there are 6, right? Active and passive intermediaries. Yes or no? Okay, so there are 5 roles. So based on the behavior that you are playing in the choreography, your role will be defined, right? If you are, you can say, sending a message to another organization, if you are sending a message to another organization service, you will be a requester. If you are receiving the information, you will be a provider. Fine. The second term is called participants. So related services are grouped together, right? And they are called as participants. So as many services that take part to follow the common rules, right? All of them will be called participants. I'll repeat. All the services that are taking part in common communication, right, across multiple organizations are known as participants. Clear with these two terms? What are roles and what are participants? Right? Yes. Okay. Then the next term is relationship, right? So each exchange between two roles in choreography is defined as relationship, right? So suppose there is a service in company A and I'm naming that as account service, right? And on the other side you have invoice service, right? On the other side you have invoice service that is belonging to the other company, right? So can I say that when they are exchanging the messages, they are forming a sort of relationship? Account and invoice are exchanging messages, right? They are forming relationship, right? So any service that takes part in message exchange are actually forming the relationship, right? Every relationship consists of exactly two roles, right? It is obvious that every message exchange will involve two services only, right? Next term that we have is channel. Channel actually defines the characteristics of message exchange, right? Now, when I say characteristic, right, how do we find out what kind of message exchange it is happening? It depends upon what? Yes, on which factor it depends upon? The characteristics of message exchange. We have seen that topic in first week after the first sessional exam ended. What that is known as MEP, right? Remember that concept? What is the full form of MEP? Message exchange pattern, right? So channel is nothing but it defines the type of MEP that the services are using, right? Suppose you are having two services like account and invoice, right? So what kind of MEP used between them? Is it request response or it is publisher subscriber or what kind of communication we are using? It is request response, right? Right. So channel defines the characteristics of you can say message exchange. Fine. So I'll again repeat. Relationship defines how the services are communicating, right? The pattern of that relationship is identified by channel, right? The pattern of that relationship is identified by the channel, and every relationship contains two roles. Clear with the mapping, right? Which is higher level term over here? Channel, relationship, or role? Which is the highest level term? I'm just reframing my question. Is it channel or is it relationship or role? Yes. Role comes at the bottom level, right, Priyank? Because see, channel is covering relationship, or channel is identifying the types of relationship. Relationship is mapped out by roles. Relationship is mapped out by roles. So in that way, yes, Urjit, I think that will be the correct way to notify that. Yes, Priyank, are you clear with that? Yes. Okay. So just be clear with these terms, right? There is no meaning of remembering the definitions and mugging up them, right? We know the relation. There is no point in answering the question and getting the marks in the exam, right? So just be clear with this. Okay. Two more terms we are having: interaction and work unit. Again, there is a relation. So try to understand this. Then I'll ask you the question regarding relation. Okay. The actual logic behind message exchange is encapsulated within interaction, right? If you remember in orchestration, how we were defining the rules, where did we define the rules? We were using that while, or we were using that, yes, in process service, correct. And inside process service, we were writing the workflow logic, yes or no? Inside process service, we were writing the workflow logic. Remember that? It was just a concept we have seen yesterday, right? Yeah. Okay. You can compare interaction with your workflow logic, basically. Interaction is nothing but it defines the rules, right? Like workflow logic defines the rules, interaction defines the rules. Okay? Are you able to compare that by looking at the definition? Yes or no? Right? Let us go in detail. Interactions are fundamental building blocks of choreography because completion of an interaction represents progress within choreography. That means if you have completed one interaction, right, that means you have followed or you have fulfilled one part of your choreography service or one set of rules of choreography service, right? So interaction defines nothing but set of rules again, like workflow logic used to define that. Are you able to compare that or not? Right? Interaction is equivalent to workflow logic in case of orchestration. Okay? Right. Now within interaction, we are having work units, right? So work units impose rules and constraints that must be added for an interaction to complete. Okay? So which is a lower level concept over here? Interaction or work unit? Based on this definition, what did you understand? Which is a lower level concept? Again, try to understand the relationship, then only, that is the only way to remember the concepts, right? Yes, work unit, right? Work units define rules, but those rules are grouped together inside interaction. Are you able to understand that? Right? Rules are grouped together within interaction. Yes, is that making sense? Yeah, so we have seen 5 terms in total, right? First term was relationship. The second, we have seen what is a role. Then we have seen what is a channel. Interaction, work units, main logic. Yes, correct, Urjit. Right? That is the right way to answer that. Yes. Okay, so I think all of you are clear, right, with this? Yes. Now I'll show you the relationship between orchestration and choreography, and that will make you clear. Just observe this. And let me know if just type in yes if you are clear with what is the difference between orchestration and choreography. You can easily see that orchestration applies to the services which are within the boundary of the single organization, while choreography can go beyond the organization boundaries and it can define common rules for multiple organizations. Yes, Priyank has written yes. What about others? Are you clear? Yes, so just remember this slide and you can easily answer what is the difference between orchestration and choreography, right? Okay, so this is what is the main difference. I'll also give you the point by point difference, but this is easy to understand, right? Okay, now let us go to the point by point difference. An orchestration expresses organization specific business workflow, right? So it is going to apply to a single organization, right? As we said, choreography can communicate between two orchestrations. Yes, that is possible. Yeah, because see, these services which you can see on the left hand side of TLS are communicating with two services of, you can say, client organization. So we can say that choreography can allow communication between four services which are also part of orchestration, right? So can I say that orchestration can be a subset of choreography? In one sense, what would you say? Is that true?